All right, you guys, we are headed to pick up my child.
Hi, guys.
Elizabeth and I are road tripping. So I took her to the stockyards today for the first time. She's never been to the Fort Worth stockyards, so I took her to the stockyards and I fed her a steak. No, she had chicken fried steak.
Yeah, I can't eat steak. That's why it comes.
Really?
That's why I don't eat steak.
Is that a real
Swear
thing?
to God, I promise the next day. Yeah, go right and then you're gonna make that U-turn up there.
Okay, now explain this to me.
So, I don't know if it's just that my gums are sensitive or because I filed my teeth down when I was in the penitentiary.
Why would you file your teeth down?
Because I got beat up by a dude when I was in juvenile. By one of the dudes that was locked up with me.
Let me see.
They're perfect now. And he chipped my teeth. Where's he at? Go right here.
And you
turn around.
filed them down. I have questions. Sorry, you guys. I feel like I have questions now.
Okay, so the dude that beat me up when I was in juvie fucked my teeth royally, and I'm a teeth fanatic.
And teeth continue to grow, right? So they just have grown down and grown even, or how did this work?
I filed them down with sandpaper.
This way?
This way. Mm-hmm. That's why they're perfect. Go right.
And it didn't mess them up? Like,
Look at my teeth, they're beautiful.
You do have pretty teeth, but I mean, like, it didn't mess up your enamel or anything.
Nothing. A lot of people are like, you shave your enamel off, your teeth are gonna rot away, and I'm like, I fucking filed them down in 2012.
Listen, I dip my toothbrush and toothpaste in bentonite clay. Like, if you get Indian clay and brush with it, like, it has helped my teeth so much. So when I got pregnant with Tinley, I had a lot of teeth problems. Mm-hmm. And then when I had COVID, they put like a breathing thing, a high flow ventilator on me, along with like a mask that had and anyway, when I was sedated, I bit down on that tube a lot, and somebody told me to like left lane. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me to brush my teeth like every single day with like bentonite clay, and I do, and I really think it's helped. Like I think it's helped.
Yeah. I have like a thing that I put on my teeth after I brush my teeth that has the UV light that helps my teeth a lot. But yeah, no, like if you think about it, you go to a dentist to go get your fucking teeth filed down when you have a chip. They do the same thing, just in a much less ghetto way.
A much less ghetto way.
Yeah, they have like an actual tool, but it's still grinding your teeth down. It's sanding them down. Yeah. That's what I did, but with a fucking nail filer and sandpaper.
Oh, you're rotten. You're rotten, but I love you. So we have really good news, you guys. But we also desperately need to get our vet bill fundraiser right here. Our vet bill fundraiser, like we really. So the filly that came in, the black filly, we call her Asia. When she came in, she didn't feel good, and she's kind of been whatever. So what Elizabeth noticed is after she put her in the stall, she has not taken a poop. And it's been what, 2 days? 2 days. It's been 2 days, no poop. So we really thought we were going to lose her. Like, I mean, it was one of those things to where I'm like, this is the part of like kill pens that nobody talks about. This is the part where people talk about the abuse and people say that we starve and kill. But this is what people don't understand. This filly was dumped off at the sale barn in the body condition of 1. She needed to be refed, but because sale barns are afraid that animal activists are going to kind of go crazy or whatever, they continuously put hay in front of them. So this filly gorged herself basically on free choice hay at the sale barn. And then by the time she got to my facility, she was kind of acting weak. And anyway, Dr. Hanlon looked at her and he just said, like, she has basically, she has gorged herself. Like, she needed to be refed. So anyway, we really thought that we were going to have to put her to sleep today. And like, I had to be gone. So Dara and Jess had to step up. She obviously is in Elizabeth barn. I have Elizabeth with me. But they got Dr. Hanlon to oil her. They got her fluids. They got everything to her. Got her on the TheraPlate. Did everything they could. And finally, about, an hour ago, she pooped.
Like, she pooped. Massively shit.
She pooped the biggest impaction ever. And
2 huge piles of poop got sent to me in a picture.
Yep, 2 huge, massive piles of poop were sent to Elizabeth. So it's fantastic that, it's fantastic. She's going to make it. Now, with that being said, obviously we have fluids and oil and upwards of $800 or $900 vet bill now on this filly. So if you guys don't mind, we will post the link to the vet bill fundraiser. This is not an expense that was included in that, but it is something that we can cover. Dunny's stifles will be done next week. The only reason Dunny's stifles were not done this week, you guys, is because Dr. Hanlon ordered the Renovo and it did not come in yet. And then he was like, well, we can do the ear on the other horse. And I said, no, let's do both of those procedures next week when we can go live and let everybody see. That's going to be kind of the coolest thing ever. So anyway, Asia is going to make it. She so far is pooped. Everything's working great. It looks like she's out of the woods, and I'm super relieved, mostly for Elizabeth, because she was like, you know, she's with me and she felt super helpless. I mean, that's the part of this that people don't see. Like, we got to have a conversation today, you know, with somebody that knows nothing about the kill horse industry, and I get really tired of the narrative of starves, kills. First of all, you know what? I think that the one thing that I walked away with today was I feel a little bit empowered in the sense that people that are true horsemen, they know. They know. I don't have to say things to animal activists. Okay, star party. Star party, star party, star party. Star party. Star party.
Star party for Asia, guys.
Mm-hmm. So Asia is looking like she's gonna make it, and I'm super excited about that.
Let me ask you something, boss.
Yeah.
Now that we're on live, and I know there's probably people that are wondering too that, you know, don't have as much knowledge like me. So how do I go about feeding her now? Because I don't want her to gorge.
Right. So the thing is a lot of times they tell you that free choice alfalfa is okay because alfalfa has a lot of potassium in it. Also, alfalfa is really good for thin horses because it has more stabilized like starch and sugars. What you don't want in refeeding horses is to have spikes in the sugar and carbohydrates. Like, you want them to have a more level diet. The thing that really sucks is I see lots of people that have the misconception that free choice hay is good, but free choice hay is not necessarily good when a horse is emaciated. Especially, we don't know if she has a horrible worm impaction. Like, that's another thing. I will be the first one to tell you that in the past I've wormed horses that maybe were not quite ready to be wormed because we didn't realize the worm load that they had, and I heavy wormed them, and all the worms kind of paralyzed. Wormer doesn't necessarily kill the worms. A lot of wormer just paralyzes them, so they let go and then they can poop them out. So I have wormed horses heavy before that were not ready for that, and they got colic impactions, and when we tubed them and we finally got the impaction to break, it was a giant ball of worms.
Good God.
So I hope that in what I'm trying to tell you, Elizabeth, is it is rocket science. And there's no real right way, because sometimes you can think you're doing the right thing and it's still not right. I mean,
well, that's what I've learned, you know, being in watching you and everything.
What I tell people all the time is
tripped out and just called it out of nowhere because of stress.
Out of stress, yeah, it stressed him out.
Like,
We just fucking stressed him out. We stressed a horse out yesterday for no reason. He was in a stall and we moved his buddy and he totally got bent out of shape, and then he was like full on colicking because we moved his buddy. And Elizabeth was freaked out. She was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, it's colic. And she was like, that fast? She was like, it just like, he was fine and then not. And I'm like, but we caught the colic as soon as we saw it.
As soon as he hit a lap around the property in the fucking rain with me, he shit all over the place.
Yeah, and I told her, like, good, that's what we were looking. She was like, okay, so he's all right? And I'm like, yeah. But, like, we were sitting in the barn and we were, like, braiding Nuke's mane, and we moved his buddy, and it just totally stressed him out that we moved his buddy. And, like, it took, probably 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
He started biting his sides, laying down. And to me, that's more of probably a ulcer horse who has gastric distress. But here's the problem with things like that. Even though his was not an impaction, his is probably gastric distress, which is a lot like heartburn. Horses still want to lay down and roll no matter what the gastric distress is. And what kills them is when they roll, their stomach flips. So even if it's just ulcers, a horse can die because of gastric distress from, does that make sense?
Star Party achieved.
All right, Star Party achieved. Thank you guys so much. So here is something that I'm tired of. I'm really tired of the narrative that kill pens abuse horses. We get so many horses in that are abused at the hands of people who dump them off at the sell barn, and then they come to us and we have to clean up the mess. And I think that for a little while, I don't know, I think it's that I was so busy trying to prove that, like Virtue Signal, I take such great care of my horses. First of all, it doesn't matter what great care I take of them. People dump horses in my lap all the fucking time that have underlying issues, and I'm not going to be able to save them, and that doesn't make me a monster. That doesn't make me an animal abuser. And I'm tired of that shit, and I think I'm putting my fucking foot down. I think tonight, if I gained anything, it was such a beautiful moment when in my head, I went, wait a minute. Like, I'm sick to death of the narrative that kill pens are animal abusers because we believe that slaughter is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because I am constantly cleaning up the mess of people that have actually been the animal abuser. And you know what?
A lot of people don't.
I need a pat on the back.
They hear kill pen and they take the gun and they run with it, but they don't realize that we are a rehabilitation center before we are a kill pen.
I saw somebody say the other day something about like JT Livestock kill and starve. First of all, nothing at my fucking property has ever starved. And if anything ever left my property in worse condition than it came, it was not at my hands. I have a staff, and let's really talk about it. We have some horses. Is your mama okay? Will you give her a hug for me?
Do I have any bleach left? Wait, what?
I think she doesn't have the right person. So, there are times that we get horses with underlying conditions that people don't talk about. People don't talk about. And then when we get them home, within a week, we start, or a couple of days, we start to see that these horses have problems. Sorry.
Let me call you back in a second, okay, Mom?
Sorry. Elizabeth's mama called. She's having a crisis of her own. Everything okay, though? No, your mama's not okay?
Yeah. She'll be okay.
We all will be. But one thing that I will say is, I think sometimes I don't. You know, you can have people that say things and you're like, you know what? I don't want to be that person. So I don't want to take credit. This is a business. But at the end of the day, as I sat down tonight and started to really think about where this started and where we came from to get to where I am, let me tell you something. I have been through a lot, and I can still remember, it started out with one horse and then another, and then just looking back, I think I want to do a little YouTube series where I genuinely go in depth and talk about where this started. I mean, I touched on it today in a conversation, but even that conversation, it never let me kind of deep dive. Does that make sense? I think that was one thing. I feel like that's what I'm missing. I wanted to genuinely deep dive into how this came about, and somehow conversations take turns and whatever, but at the end of the day, to know where I came from and to know where I am today, I have worked my fucking ass off to be where I am, and I am tired of people that do not deserve to even know my name have the ability to have a voice. Social media gives people a platform to talk about people that they shouldn't be able to talk about. It gives 15-year-old kids the ability to go trash talk Clinton Anderson. So we need, as parents, I genuinely think that you guys need to, if you have kids that are of social media age, you need to take the phone away from them. Just know what they're saying and who they're saying it to. And then there's a whole other breed of Karens out there. Well, they're cunts, not Karens. And they're just being cunts. They're being negative cunts. And I can tell you right now that it is very easy to sit behind a computer and to tell my staff and I how we should handle a business that they couldn't run if they tried. Just like the filly today. I mean, if we would have had to have put her to sleep, you can believe there would have been somebody out there that's oh, well, they should have done this, or, oh, they should have done that, or, oh, well, another one. Well, what I think is crazy is it to be oh, another one at JT Livestock. Do you know how many horses we get in that have underlying issues? It's a fucking kill pen. It's a kill pen. For as many great quality horses as I get, do you not understand that people do dump off horses with underlying issues because they don't have the fucking balls to handle it and take care of it? And now it's my problem. And now I'm the one having to rally together and to try to get people to help me pay for vet bills for horses that I didn't create the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that created the problem, but the horse is now in my care.
So
and
then it is your problem. Then that's what people think.
Yeah, and then there's people out there that say things like, well, if you took the horse in, you know what the alternative was? For it to go directly to slaughter.
Yeah, it didn't have a fucking chance.
It didn't have a chance in hell. And you know what else? You know what else I'm tired of, you guys? Since there's 400 of you watching this live, how many of you get tired of stupid ass people telling you what you should or shouldn't do with your hard-earned money? Like, if you want to donate to my fucking vet bill because you think that Asia deserves the fighting chance that we gave her, because I know in the back of my mind, hey, you know what? Go ahead and do the vet work, because I have a group of women who stand behind me who are going to fucking help me.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
They are going to help us for sure. When I post this fundraiser, they're going to be like, you know what? We know that vet bill was $1,000. We are going to help you.
And that's the beauty about this thing right here, is that there is people that are just really fucking just stupid when it comes to this shit. But then there's this group of people that, you know,
they get it.
Y'all listen, and
you get it, and you don't listen, and you don't give a fuck. You do not care if Joe Blow and over here is like, do not give money to them because she should pay her own vet bills. Okay, you fucking dumb twat. I do pay the vet bills on all of the horses that are my responsibility, but that mare would have gone to kill, and she deserved a fighting chance. And if these lovely individuals right here want to put their money up and they want to help her, why are you worried about what they do with their fucking money? Like, you might not have the money. You might not want to put your money into this, but stop fucking telling strangers what they should and shouldn't do. And like, why do you think that you're so fucking important that you get to dictate where somebody spends their money? Who is it?
Hello?
Like, that's another thing, and I hope that makes sense. Like, who are these fucking people to think that they get to tell you guys or me where we should spend our money? We work our fucking ass off, and sometimes I think that I allow people into my head to where they talk down to me to the way that I'm like, well, my husband's a kill buyer, you know, but you know what? It doesn't matter what my fucking husband does. I dedicated my life to make a difference, and look at what I've accomplished. And it's not because my husband is like footing the bill. My husband was like, look, Tara, I can't afford to rehome all these horses because I need the money back right now. I don't have the money, Tara. I don't have the money for you to play like rescue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have found my Facebook now.
Who's this? Oh, God. You know, my husband said, like, I don't have the money for you to like fall in love with all of these fucking horses. Like, I bought them. They need to turn around. They are sold. They need to go to slaughter because I need the money. Like, that's all it was about for him. Like, they were livestock. Now, has my husband in 9 years softened up and really started to see the difference that it has made? Absolutely. Absolutely. My husband is a much better human today than he was 9 years ago. I'm very proud of the human that my husband has grown into. I'm very proud. But you know what else I'm fucking sick of? I'm tired of stupid ass bitches on social media. Social media. Left?
Yes, keep left.
Okay. Just because you met me 12 years ago in my 20s, you don't fucking know me today. Okay, bitch? And just because my husband did something 12 years ago and then he fought it for 4, and so for the last like 7.5, almost 8 years, he's been like dealing with this probation shit. My husband is not the same human that he was a decade ago. So if you want to bring up his fucking felony from a decade ago, fuck you.
But that'd be like people fucking bringing up the fact that I went to prison, and you know I'm an inspiration to people at this point. You know,
Absolutely.
I hope like people are so half empty nowadays when they should be a cup half full.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that what I realized today is I'm taking my voice and my power back from people that don't deserve to even have a dot in my paradise.
No,
like, you fucking suck. You're a terrible human. You were exiled from the tribe because we all fucking hate you. None of us wanted to be around you. You and every other person that we kicked out of our clique can now go sit in that group and fucking wallow, but fuck you, and you're not welcome in our group.
Suck a fart out my butt.
Right. But you know what? It really took Like, I don't know. I was like sitting in that chair and all of a sudden I was like, fuck yeah. Like, in that moment, as I was like going through my head, like where I came from, where I've been, what I gave up to be where I am, like playing that in my head, I was like, you know what? These bitches can fucking suck it. Seriously. You are not going to tell me and my tribe what the fuck we're going to do with our money or what we're going to do with our day.
And it's like, it's fucked up because like if it was actually...
And you can't cancel a bitch who doesn't give a fuck about your opinion and is going to get up every day regardless of how you feel. And you can continue to make up the stupid fucking narrative of, oh, starve, kill, destroy, awful, oh, they're... Fuck you. Fuck you. You don't have a clue what goes on there because you're not invited to that property. Here's the thing. Just like previous employees, you know why you are a previous employee? Because you did a shit fucking job and you got fired. You got fired. And it was so devastating that months later, you're not over being fired. You're still wallowing in self-pity that you fucking got shit canned from the best thing that ever happened to you. So now you sit in a fucking group and bash me and bash the people that are now doing the job that you had the opportunity to do, but you're a fucking piece of shit and you did a terrible job.
She should go find a job.
You were terrible to me. You were terrible to the horses and you got shit canned, and instead of moving on with your life, it literally is so debilitating that you still have to discuss it months later.
It would be one thing if like they had any truth to anything, but they
Here's the thing.
lie about every fucking thing.
It doesn't matter what truth they think they have. Those employees don't work at that facility anymore. So you know what? Whenever one employee goes, well, the horses, you know what, bitch? You're right. You're right. They weren't being taken care of to the best of what I think. And that's why you're no fucking longer there.
They don't even
That's why you're
bashing
gone.
themselves.
You are bashing yourself. You are right. You fucked the horses. You were terrible. You were an awful employee. You didn't do a good job. And I tried so hard to bite my fucking tongue to just save face because I'm like, hey, I don't want to bash these people. But you know what? Let's be honest. You have had absolutely no problem fucking bashing me. And at the end of the day, the only reason that you want to bash me is because you're still fucked up that you don't work there anymore. Like, you're fucked up about it. Like, it was life-altering to you. You lost the best thing that ever happened to you. Yeah. Like, you lost the best thing that ever fucking happened to you. And you know what? You're still talking about it months later in a group of women who also got shit canned from being part of our tribe because they're fucking Karens, and we don't want Karens. Okay, Karens, I love you. We don't want cunts in our tribe. And so I got rid of all of the pussy ass cunts who cannot just be rational thinking human beings. And I'm going to be really honest. If you don't fucking like it, you know where that group is. Get your fucking ass over there. They talk about me all the time. Go join them. Go sit with your people. Because those of us who have common sense and know the fucking right from wrong, we're over here just making a difference. We're over here like getting up every day making a fucking difference. And I'm tired of trying to dull myself down so that I don't hurt the feelings of people that would not give two fucks if they hurt my feelings. And if you don't like the way I talk to people and you think that my attitude is bad or you think I talk down to people or I'm condescending, there is a group of women who agree with you. Go fucking sit with them. Go sit with them. Go sit with them. Bye. Bye. What are you waiting on? You know what else I want to know? If you hate me so fucking bad, why are you still watching my every move? Because the truth is, none of you fucking hate me that bad. At the end of the day, you were excused from our group because you're a fucking cunt. None of us want anything to do with you. And now, since you're not welcome in our tribe, you have to self-wallow over there and make up reasons why we're really bad. We're really bad. They're bad humans. They starve the horses and they kill them and they're terrible. You know what? No, we're not. You're a fucking idiot. And we didn't want you around us. And you know why that's so hard for me? Because growing up, I was not liked for a long time by lots of people, and it used to hurt my feelings. It used to hurt my feelings. It used to hurt my feelings. Yep, it used to hurt my feelings so badly that people didn't like me and they didn't want me to be part of their group because I thought they were mean girls. And so I have tried to create a group of women, okay, that are very inclusive. We love each other. We support each other. If we fail and we fuck up, we'll give each other a hand up. Like, let me help you.
That's
Let
the
me help
difference
you.
between us, though. You know, like there's those people that are right here, and they see people up here, and
Yep.
they want to bring them down with them. And we're the type of group that we see somebody up here, and
I'm
we're
a
like, let's
girl's
get
girl.
up there with you. Like, let me get up there with you, or you know, like
Absolutely.
see somebody below us, and we're like, we encourage them to get
Absolutely.
up. You know, that's enlifting as fuck.
Absolutely. And I see names popping up on here of people that literally cannot stand me, are in the fucking group that talk shit about me. But here, I see your name popping up on here, Chelsea. I
Hi,
see your name
Brittany.
popping up in here, Anne. I see your name popping up on here, people that I know fucking do not like me, but you're watching this video. What is wrong with you? Who does that? Are you obsessed? Yes, you're fucking obsessed. You got excused. You know what I think? At the end of the day, I think that I finally just laughed. I was like reading some of the shit, and I was like, wait a minute. I am taking my power back because I worked my fucking ass off to be where I am, and you would be more than welcome to be in our group. Do you have more than one?
I don't want it on. It's giving me a fucking headache already. You want me to grab the wheel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my autopilot's on, but still, like, you'll feel it. It'll recorrect you if you, like, you know, like, oh, it's off. You got it? Okay. So here's my thing. Here's my thing about, I got it. I've got, it has autopilot, like active lane management and hands-free driving.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I have one of the only Jeep Grand Cherokees, so only the Grand Wagoneers have it, but there was a couple of these like limiteds.
Man, look, I can go on autopilot if my fucking knee can lift up high enough to my steering
drive
wheel.
So listen, they do love to cause drama, and at the end of the day, drama sells. So if you want to bring drama, like what the fuck ever, bring the drama. We don't give a shit. Like, we no longer give a shit. Bring the drama. Because I can tell you that after 9 years of doing this, I'm not fucking going anywhere. Have you not realized by now I'm not going anywhere? And you can report all of my videos and talk fucking shit about me. And the more you talk shit, the more people are like, wow. Like, I have people all the time that are like, I found you through a hater and I love you. What's funny is a lot of my haters have people who also hate them. Like, you have to remember that if it is somebody that I've kicked out of the tribe because I'm like, this bitch is a fucking cunt, like, God, I'm not the only person that's going to think that. And what's really funny is they will post something negative about me, and all the people who don't like them can't wait to find me and support me because they're like, I fucking hate that bitch. I have to work with her. And you actually said to her what I have been dying to say, but I can't because I work with her and I'm going to get fired. And so then they're like, thank you. And you know what? I think that I just developed a voice. Like, I got picked on and I had mean girls be mean to me. And now that I'm an adult, you know what I think about mean girls? Fuck you. You're not welcome in our tribe.
No, they're fucking bullies.
You're a fucking bully.
They're fucking
You're a fucking bully. And if you're the kind of person that tries to push somebody to be the monster that you want them to be, because we all have a monster inside of us. We are all fucked up individuals. If any of you sit there and say, I have never lied, I am a perfect human being, I have never done anything wrong, bitch, then you have just never been in a situation that was bad enough. Because desperate people will do some desperate fucking shit. I don't give a fuck who you are.
If she has a stroke, I will grab the wheel. No, wait,
no.
she has autopilot.
I have autopilot.
They said, calm down, you're gonna have a stroke.
No, like, listen, I'm not pressed about this. Like, it is so freeing to me to finally really feel this way. Like, I think I felt this way all along underneath, but I was so afraid I was going to hurt somebody's feelings that I didn't stand up for myself because I didn't want to fucking hurt their feelings. Fuck those bitches. And if I need to say it again for those of you in the back, I can.
Fuck those bitches!
Fuck those bitches! I do so much good. And I am not going to let people that refuse to see the good in what I do take the good away. Yeah. Like, I am going to pat myself on the back, and it is something I don't do enough.
No, you don't.
I don't.
You don't.
And you know why I don't? Because I think I don't want to be like condescending or braggadocious. But you know what? I fucking worked my ass off to be here. And I am so grateful that I did find people in my life. Like Elizabeth, when I took her with me today, I knew that I love Elizabeth. I know that we're friends, but I can just tell you that in the moment that I like needed my friend, it was like gang on. She was right there. She was like, do you want me to throw hands? And I'm like, we've got this. It really, I have started to surround myself by people that I deserve. Like, I hope Elizabeth feels that. Like, I mean, I hope that Elizabeth feels like I am a good friend and a good boss.
I know
but let me tell you something.
You got my back the way I got your back. And that is the only thing that I can ask for. Your loyalty for me and my loyalty for you is on the same fucking page.
And I think that's what's amazing. But you know what I have found about people? The people that are the most loyal to me are just loyal by nature, so they're loyal to the fucking horses. And that's where I fucked up before. I would find people that would kiss my ass and, oh my God, I love what you do and you're so amazing. And at the end of the day, they were just fucking ass kissers who needed attention and a pat on the fucking back. They were like virtue signalers. They would like show up but the truth is, at the end of the day, they didn't have the horse's back. They didn't really have my back. And you know what's sad? It is just somebody's character. So if the bitches will run to a fucking group and talk shit about me, they never had the horses' backs. They were somebody that just needed fucking attention. You know how I know? Because there are employees that have hurt my feelings, that they no longer work for me. But at the end of the day, you don't see Charlie in that group at all. You know why? Because that bitch fucking did everything that she could for the horses. I will never be able to tell you that she was unhappy, but there was a lot going on in her life. I love her. I would still fight a grizzly bear for her, and she was good to my fucking horses.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, you know, like you find.
But she's a loyal, good person. Yeah. Like, she was loyal to those horses. She was loyal to the brand, and she would never bash me because Charlie will tell you nothing was ever abused on her watch, and it wouldn't fucking happen with her watching. So anybody that can tell you that anything happened in their presence is a piece of shit right there, because what they're telling you is they stayed until they got fired watching that. I can tell you right now, if some shit went on at my house that Elizabeth truly felt was abuse, it wouldn't happen. I mean,
not in front of me, it wouldn't.
No,
because then whoever the fuck is doing the abuse is going to be fucked up royally. And that,
absolutely.
You know, I live in the bunker there, so technically, you know.
And we all are super, like, listen, and we're all super good, because what we can tell you is that they could say whatever they want, but like at the end of the day, I think even with the Brandon situation, he still knows, like, we want what was best for him.
Yeah,
Every one of us, no matter, like, we've all dealt with somebody that has a drinking problem or a problem. We all stood our ground to make sure, like, nobody ever, like, nobody ever tried to turn on him or be ugly to him. And you know what? We're proud of him. Like, we hope that it's like smooth sailing and he's doing fucking great.
All said that, like, the shit that he's got going right now
is fantastic.
We all pray for him on a daily.
Absolutely.
Like,
he went to work for somebody that's my competition, and like, as much as I'm like, man, that sucks. If being over there away from people where he is alone and it's going good and he's not like, listen,
power to him.
Power to him. Like, we don't have that bone in our body. Like, yes, we have to discuss like the shit that goes on that sucks. But I'm tired of having to filter what I can show you guys, because like the filly that was down, like, man, when she was down in the hay and then like Jess was petting her and I got her up in the back of my mind, I kept thinking like, this bitch is kind of colicking, but I didn't want to make it a big deal on camera, because I have people that'll call the fucking authorities. Like, they'll call the cops and be like, there's a horse dying on their place. They didn't get it to the vet. And that's not what's best for her. Like, loading her up and stressing her out further is not what's best for her. What's best for her is to get some fluids in her, to try to get some Banamine in her, to get her oil. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I can tell you right now is I know that the steps that we made are the best, because she's pooping, she's over the colic, like, she's doing so much better. And there are people out there that don't know enough about what I do to have a voice, but they will make theirself a voice. They will make themselves a voice, and they will make themselves like inserted into the conversation without having a clue of what's actually going on. And I'm just telling you that I'm tired. I'm tired of having to half-ass censor things, because, man, I don't want somebody, you know, discussing it in a group. You know what? I don't give a fuck if you discuss it now. Like, if you're stupid enough to discuss the shit that we do, like, fuck off.
It sucks, because, like, where I come from, if you don't pay the bills, your fucking 2 cents aren't wanted. Sure, like, I'm going to the back so I can get behind you. So it fucking blows, you know, but at the same time.
Does that seat need to be put up?
Nope.
Okay.
Try to take your damn thing off.
Okay. I don't think it comes off.
It should.
It doesn't. I think it just folds down.
No. Okay. Well, hi guys.
Hi guys. So
I'm fucking trolling back here, boss.
So at the end of the day, what we do is just none of your business.
No, it's
and
really
what
not.
we allow you guys to be part of, we're proud to have the following and the support that we have. But like, we need to bring slaughter back to the U.S. And the main reason we need to bring slaughter back to the U.S., and I preach this, is because the horses that actually go to slaughter, the horses that have actual underlying conditions, they don't need to ride to Mexico. It's too far. It's really too far. Most of them, your mother is saying things, and you need to pay attention, because I don't know any of that.
She said, daughter, don't stress for people that are jealous. There are people that aren't happy, and
Absolutely.
they want...
Your mom is right. They are so miserable. They're miserable. And then they joined our tribe because they thought, like, okay, this is something that's going on and I can find some happiness here. But the problem with negative people is they're going to rain their negativity no matter what. They are going to be unhappy no matter what.
Yeah.
So it didn't take very long for them to show their true colors amongst us. And then I was like, fuck you. You're not welcome here, because none of us want to listen to your stupidity. None of us want to listen to your negativity. None of us want to fuck with you. You are toxic. We don't want your toxic behavior here. And the moment that they were exiled and banished because of their own behavior, I'm the problem. Well, you know what? What the fuck ever. Fuck ever. But at the end of the day, I just think that today, the one thing that I took back was my voice of, I stand by what I do, and I don't give a fuck if you like it or not.
Right.
And it has taken me a year to have the balls to really just be like, you know what? Fuck you.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
proud
care.
of you, though. I'm so proud of you.
I'm
Real
serious.
shit.
Like, I really had to go. Like, I mean, I was digging back in some memories. Like, the first time I walked up and saw all the horses in the kill pen and Pitkin. And I remember people thinking and, like, posting pictures that is like how I treated the horses. And at the end of the day, fuck no. I never one time thought that environment was where the horses needed to live. But what was I going to do about it? I had no money. I was fucking broke. I had nothing. So all I could do was advertise the horses and offer them a way out of there. Does that make sense? I could offer them a way away from that environment, because there were two options: slaughter, or I could find them a home.
Right.
And the fact that people have found wrong in that is just proof enough how stupid people can be and how negative they can be. She only does it for the money. Actually, when I originally started this, I never even thought for 1 second that, like, money, it started out like for the horse. And over time, I started to realize that I needed money. I had to make this a profitable fucking thing, because I needed to buy a facility and I needed to get the horses away from the kill pen. I didn't want them to stand in that environment. I am the one. Do you know how much more money my husband and I could have if we just did like all the other kill pens and just had all the horses standing in one pen, and you could just come get them off of a round bell? And like, because we did it. We had no money to do it any other way. And we made way more profit then than we do now. But I saved and scrimped and did everything I could to afford the facility I have, so that horses like Asia have a stall, and I can rally the troops, and I can firmly say, like, Dr. Hanlon, I can afford $1,000 vet bill. Please try to save her.
Yeah.
Like, can I afford it? Not really. But do I know that I have a tribe of women that are going to help me?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of people that don't have the balls to get off their fucking ass and actually make a difference, slander those who do. And you know what? I've been guilty of it myself. I have been an unhappy, miserable person, and I have said bad things about people. And the one thing I regret most now is looking back and saying bad things about people that probably didn't deserve it, just because I was fucking unhappy. I was unhappy. I was miserable.
But you acknowledge your fuck ups, and that's what's good. That's what's
I
good.
think I
You
just am
acknowledge
starting to realize that I'm a happier person than I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
2, I'm a little bit more financially stable than I was in the past, so
Right.
I don't have a lot of the same stresses. And like, I'm going to tell you, there's a time in my life that Thor bucking Jess off or ducking out from under her would have been like gut-wrenching for me, because I would have been like, oh God, he's never going to sell now. I don't give a fuck. I turned it into a TikTok. I don't care. I want people to know exactly who the horses are, exactly what their idiosyncrasies are.
Yeah,
and if you can't, that's right. And if you can't handle a 5-year-old green, draft cross that's never been rode bareback, then you don't need to buy him.
Right.
Or you don't need to ride him bareback. I never would have thought in a million years he would dump Jess off. Ever. Because that's not in Thor's nature. But we put Thor in a situation that he's never been in before. Ever in a million years. And you know what? Horses can hurt people.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Horses can hurt people. And you know what? We just laughed about it, and I'm in the position in my life now where it was fucking live, and we have turned it into a TikTok and moved on, and nobody's even mad about it, and we still love Thor just as much as today.
Fuck yeah.
And there was a time in my life that would have been like gut-wrenching. I would have been like, oh my God, I cannot believe that happened. Like, I have to take that video down. I hope nobody saw it. But you know what? I don't give a fuck now, because now I feel like if I've ever said something true, I want the horses to go to the right home for them. And if we can't find them the right home, I'd rather them go to slaughter than end up passed around until they end up like Asia. That mare has been suffering at the hands of people that should have never owned a horse. And you know what? You know why I don't like the fundraising? Because I feel like if you can't afford the horse, you don't need to own it. And what I've watched is people be able to obtain horses that probably shouldn't. And this is where I'm going to say it. Yes, I have horses that I understand need a lot of training, or they need, a little more vet work, or they need transportation all the way across the country. And you know what? Those same people could probably go buy a local horse cheaper. So at this point, yes, I think that those horses, if we fundraise or we help, and you want to, but honestly, I think there's more good to be done on horses that need veterinary care so that we can get them into the position to be rehomed than to help other people pay for horses. I don't, and I hope that makes sense. I would rather all of us collectively put our funds into bettering the lives of the unsold horses so that when they do go to a home, maybe their teeth are already floated, or maybe their feet have already been done, or maybe like Asia with her colicking. I mean, Dr. Hinlin said today, this is going to go one of two ways. By in the morning, you're either going to have to shoot her, or she's going to have poop.
Yep.
And it's not going to be anything else, because this is one of the largest impactions I've seen. He said she was just too thin, and she just gorged herself. And this started from the cell barn. She arrived to me laying down, not feeling good. And it's because she gorged herself. She stood at the cell barn. Horses sell first, then all the cattle. And she stood eating all the hay she could eat after being starved.
Right.
And that's refeeding syndrome. It's a different kind. It's not the metabolic kind that affects their carbs and sugars, but it's the fact that her stomach was shrunk and she ate all the hay she could eat, and she almost died from it.
My cousin.
Oh, it's still telling me you can't go live.
Yeah, every time I click on your live.
So one thing I want you guys to know is that Elizabeth is still doing great in the Inc. magazine. Please go and vote for her. Elizabeth deserves for that to happen. Look at all the good she does for the horses. And you know what? Elizabeth has overcome more than a lot of us could ever. And not that, so it's a whole other conversation to talk about, being raised in a minority family and being raised in a part of America. Elizabeth was born to parents that work really hard in a part of Texas where things are different. It's a different world there. So what was acceptable around her, and Elizabeth is now slowly, as my friend, not just my employee, kind of getting a taste of wow, there's some kind of cool stuff in life that doesn't involve any kind of gang membership.
Yeah, stockyards. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, and so you and I, a lot of you guys and I take for granted that this is just, it's the stockyards. We've all been there, right? But I mean, for Elizabeth, she was raised on the east side of Amarillo, in the hood.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys have to remember that there's a whole world of people out there that watch my videos and that have literally found inspiration. We have received so many messages from people that maybe don't have a lot of money, or don't have a lot of education, or don't have, and as much as I want this to be about rehoming horses, I want for us to all remember that while we don't want to be bullied, if any of the people that are in my hate group ever come to me, I can tell you right now that I have accepted people back into our group who have apologized. That, do they deserve? you know what? They apologized. I mean, the lady that raised the biggest stink over Apple and probably caused the biggest thorn in my side has since been like, you know what, Tara, I have absolutely, like, done everything to bury you. And I'm going to tell you, like, the more that I tried, the more I started to realize that maybe I was wrong. And it you know, like, it made her realize. And you know what? I invited her to my house.
That's badass, though. Like, that just
I'm not
shows
mad.
growth,
Like,
you know?
and I'm not even mad. Like, I will tell you right now that any person that has ever worked for me in the past or that has ever, like, been in that group, if you ever wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I am sorry. You're always welcome back. You know how come? Because I've been a shit fucking human being myself. More than once. Like, I spent the majority of my 20s being a terrible human being. And I wish that more people would talk about that. I wish more people would acknowledge their wrongdoings instead of trying to hide them, so that people can realize that just because you were a bad person or you've had bad moments doesn't make you have a bad life. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad future. I tell Elizabeth all the time, I don't care about who you were before. What I care about is who you're striving to be tomorrow. And I hope you guys love me enough to be like, you know what, Tara, I acknowledge that you've been a piece of shit in your life, but you try to do a lot of good. You do your best to tell the truth. And you know what? I'm going to stand firmly behind you. That's all I expect. You don't have to agree with everything I say. You don't have to agree with everything I do. And you don't have to think that every member of my staff is perfect at every moment. We've all had bad days.
Yeah.
We have all had fuck-ups. But none of us do anything malicious. None of us are malicious in any way. Our intent is not malicious. And I think that's another thing that we need to stop with the narrative of, like, animal abuse. Like, people really got on to her about riding the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
There was no malicious intent behind that, and that donkey is not hurt. That donkey is living its best life. And that donkey found a home because of that video, because people were like, oh, that donkey is broke. Like, I want it. So first of all, let's stop and realize that even if you thought, man, she weighs 160 pounds or 50 pounds and she's on that donkey weighs hundreds of pounds. And we went from, oh, you can weigh 50% of it to 30% to now the other day I saw a study that was like 15% of their body weight. And I'm like, come the fuck on. Like, we're getting to a society. First of all, do you know how many donkeys live their entire life, like, pulling equal to their body weight? Like, we need to stop. I'm not telling you that it's okay for a 250-pound man to go ride a miniature donkey day in and day out. I'm not telling you that. But we also need to remember there's a big difference between a 5-minute joke and malicious intent. And then I will hear people say, well, you can't use a joke. This is animal cruelty. Stop. Like, you are literally dumbing down the equine world to where before we know it, we will all have to ride bridleless. None of us can clip our fucking horse's whiskers. And before we know it, the only cows that we see are in a petting zoo.
Yeah, you got to think, too, though, like, these people that are saying all this shit, if you fucking fart wrong, they're going to say something about it. Like,
absolutely.
That's just how they are. They want anything and everything. You look to the left and they're going to say, oh, well, she went to the left. It's too
I
fucking
think
hard.
that Elizabeth needs to catch that donkey every day and ride him and put him to work? No. Do I think that if she did, he would build up?
You're going to go to the left.
Do I feel like he would build up the muscle and the bone density to handle it? Absolutely. And I think that's another thing that we forget is it doesn't matter how much a horse weighs or the work. I think that a barrel racer who hasn't rode their horse in a month and pulls their horse out of the pasture and goes and asks it to run for their life does more damage. Does more damage than somebody that got on a several 100-pound donkey for 5 minutes. But nobody wants to talk about that.
This next exit, take it to
Nobody
the right.
to the right.
Yes.
Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about allowing your horse to get fat and out of shape and not have the lung capacity. I mean, equine pulmonary hemorrhaging is a thing.
This right here.
Right here?
Yes, ma'am.
To the right. Okay. So nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about not having your horse conditioned and running it in deep ground and compromising the integrity of its tendons and ligaments and causing things that can be long-term damage. But you know what? But people will talk about...
I don't know. Take exit 61. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Right back, go back to where we just came from.
I guess this man is on crack.
He is on crack.
He didn't say Buc-ee's earlier, guys. He said, how do you say, boss? Buc-ee's.
Yes, you will be exiting off at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's.
Yeah, it says to get back on up there and 0.6 miles. I don't know why he had you do all that.
It's okay. I've done worse. I've taken way worse detours. But I will tell you that I really genuinely just dug back into memories, emotions came up that I had not visited in a really long time.
Well, that's good, you know.
And because in those moments I thought to myself, like, if these people only knew, like, you know, I've heard people say, like, oh, we need to figure out who owned or financed her place, and we need to, but you know what? Where do you guys think, like, if I don't have that facility, these women, that's how you know it's jealousy. It is 100% jealousy, and it's not about the horses.
No, it's
because
not.
if you give a fuck about the horses, you would want them on that property instead of standing in the kill pen where it's knee-deep mud.
Exactly.
Where it's knee-deep mud. Right here.
I guess so. Keep going.
It's probably going to be like,
lane to take a slight left turn to merge onto US 75 North.
fuck it, I think we were supposed to take that.
Good God. Look, dude, I don't know who you are or what you got going,
Listen, sir.
but I'm going to need you to get it the
smoke
fuck
crack.
together.
If I ever thought a GPS smoked crack, it is for sure this
It's
one.
my GPS.
It's
Nope, you can't. That's not. You can't do that. Good. Oh my God.
what this is literally.
That is it. There is a huge sign right there that says no
it's
U-turn.
not.
Look at the sign.
That's
Look at
not
it.
what that says.
It says don't go left.
It did not say no U-turn. I did not say that.
Turn right.
It did not say that.
There was a big no left.
That's not what that said.
Go right. Yep.
It said
Don't
do
go
not-
left, and we most definitely went left.
We did not.
You know
We made
what?
a U-turn.
Fuck it. We'll call
We
it
didn't-
fucking. We'll call it a
we
U.
did not-
We
we did
turned
not-
you.
We did not
We
go left.
turned
We went
you.
you.
Use the left lane to take a slight left turn to merge onto US 75
But
Are
you
you
know,
sure?
at the end of the day, I literally kind of got to laughing about some of the things, like, to the point that, listen, it is no longer any kind of a normal thing when you will buy a plane ticket to Billings, Montana to follow my husband to an auction so that you can try to write down what the horses he buys cost.
Jacob just needs to start taking me to the auctions with him. Straight like that.
Listen,
Oh,
no,
my
because
shit.
you would catch a felony. I mean, I literally said
Not if there's
today,
no
like-
cameras. Look, I'm a firm believer that there is no such thing
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
as a coincidence. So all the shit that I have gone through that has placed me in Tara's path, you know, and a lot of people, they you know, I get it a lot that, you know,
I
people feel
think
lucky and shit, or, you know, so just the word luck gets thrown around. But I feel genuinely lucky that I got to have this opportunity in my life. Like, you know, just like with the Ink magazine, when they asked me, what are you going to do at $25,000 if you win? I'm buying a truck and a fucking trailer. So I can
Elizabeth's
go
like,
haul
I'm gonna
more
do
feed.
horse stuff.
I want a fucking trailer and a truck so I can buy more fucking feed for the horses and just little shit like that. Be able to haul fucking horses and shit
So
like that.
at the end of the day, like, one
feel
thing I
lucky.
can tell you is that I feel lucky to have Elizabeth because she does love the horses, but because I feel like every person that comes into my life has the opportunity to not only change the life of the horses, but of our following. Like, I understand that you guys know me. You understand. But nope, Tyree, you're not replay watching. You are here with us live. I feel like this has somehow gone from, like, hey, these horses are going to slaughter, we need to find them homes, to I really think that we can make a difference in people's lives every day. Like, people need the motivation more now than ever to get up and to still want to accomplish their dreams.
Yeah.
I have a great life, and I still wake up some days and I feel bad without any outside help. I don't need a fucking hate group to tell me I'm a piece of shit. I don't need a fucking hate group to tell me I'm a horrible human. There are days that I feel that. There are days Elizabeth feels it. There are days that all of you feel it. We are humans, and we allow the voice in our head I don't give a fuck what you say. You know that I'm not wrong, because I don't suffer from like a lot of depression. I don't suffer from a lot of like mental illness, but I mean, I'm still human, and there are more than one day out of the month that I don't feel it when I wake up. I do not feel it. I do not feel like I'm making a difference. I don't feel like, I just am not feeling it. And I live a great life. I was told I couldn't have kids, and I have a beautiful daughter. She had a vaccine reaction. She survived that. I lived through Delta, and I'm telling you, when I had COVID, it was as bad as you could possibly get it without dying. And I remember thinking to myself, I cannot leave my daughter without a mom. I have to. It hurts so bad to breathe, and I was like, I am getting better. I am strengthening my lungs. I am not going to get on a ventilator and die and leave my child without a mom. Like, I have everything in the world to be grateful for that I have overcome, and there are still days I don't fucking feel it.
Yeah, shit gets fucking rough at times, and that's what a lot of people don't see, you know?
And
is when shit gets rough, and we are still out there day in, day out. And it's not because of anything other than the fact that
And how
we want
disgusting is it that there are humans in this world that ever want to rob somebody else of their joy? We don't fucking need you to help to rob us of our joy. Every single one of us does that on our own. There's not one of you watching this video that can be like, oh, I have never. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. There are days that you don't even like yourself. There are days that you don't even like your life. There are days that you are unfucking grateful. You know how I know? Because I live an amazing life, and I still find days to be ungrateful. And it's pathetic. And then I get strength, and I am like, God, how could you ever not be grateful? Like, you live such a good life, and you have so much opportunity, and like, shame on you, Tara. I don't need somebody else to shame me. I have my own voice in my own head. I need no outside help. But you know what? Fuck the people that ever make you feel like that. People around you should offer you a hand up, period. Period. And I hope that every single one of you watch our videos and you take joy away from us. You literally leave us feeling empowered. You leave us feeling like if you wanted to start a cooking show, go do it. If you wanted to write a book, fucking get after it. If you want to be a better mom, do it. If you, like, I told somebody the other day, they were like, they showed me a picture of somebody's house and they wanted to shame them. My house, I'll tell you, I have slight OCD, so my house at its worst is probably not as bad as some people's. But as I looked at those photos, I looked at them and I said, okay, so what are we going to do? And she was like, what do you mean? Like, call the cops? And I'm like, no. Like, are you going to go help them clean their house, or should we just like call a maid service? And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, this is somebody that's struggling. Nobody wants to fucking live like that. Nobody wakes up and goes, you know what? I can't fucking clean my house for 6 months. This is mental illness. This is somebody that's struggling. So what are you and I going to do to make this better? And this person was like, oh God, I was thinking about calling CPS. And I'm like, well, that's fucking awful, because you honestly think going to foster care is going to be better than, like, yeah, how about we do something better? How about we figure out somebody that can go and clean this mess and help them? Now, if you reach out to help somebody and they won't take the help, okay, you know, like now we're starting. But you know what? That person, I reached out to them and they did want the help. They were overwhelmed with 5 fucking kids. Okay? 5 fucking kids. And a pipeliner baby daddy who probably does drugs. I mean, this is a person I know. And I'm not telling their whole story. Somebody would be like, I can't believe you put this shit out there. I can promise you the person that I'm putting it out there about would be more than happy to put it out there herself, because you know what? She called me and she was like, you know what? I was too embarrassed, and all I did is I called 4 housekeepers and I found one, and I'm like, look, this is something that needs to be done now for the kids, not tomorrow. I don't care how busy you are. What will you charge me to go tomorrow? And she was like, you know what? I can tell in your voice you're serious. And I'm like, yeah, and it's going to take 2 of you. So you know what? She went, and this person, she called me after she left, and she was like, you know what? She helped us right alongside of us. Like, once somebody came in and was trying to help her, she was trying to help herself. And you know what I told her? If in a month it's getting overwhelming, call. I'll pay again for somebody to come help you. Why can't we live in that society? Like, what's fucking so wrong with us that that's not the society we live in? Because I'm going to tell you that when I saw those photos, my heart never said I'm calling CPS and having your kids fucking taken away from you. What I said was, this is a mom who needs my fucking help. I have 1 fucking kid and sometimes can't manage to get my shit done.
Yeah.
with one. Yeah. I told Elizabeth the other day I fucking probably am going to have her help me come get my fucking house under control. And it's really, I mean, like, I can have company over tomorrow. It's really not that insane. But at the end of the day, I mean, my living room looks like a toy box. And my child has been at my parents' and I've been working so hard that her toys are still in my living room. Imagine if I had 5 kids and they were coming and going every day and I was still having to work. So I don't want fucking cunts in my group. I want people that are like, that's right. How can we help? Stop judging each other. We're all fucked up. All of us.
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, well, I would never. Well, what the fuck ever? Like, I'm glad that you had enough family and support or whatever that, like, you don't succumb to mental illness and all kinds of fucking trauma because the rest of
the family
us.
that I come from, my mom and my dad are great. Like, I'm blessed to have the family that I have. And I was still fucked off, but it wasn't because of anything that my family did wrong. It was just the environment that I was in and shit, you know? Like, and to this day, I still have issues, you know? And it's not because of anything other than the shit that I went through.
Listen, I have really great parents. But I will tell you that moving from El Paso to Oklahoma did a lot on me because I came from a society to where if you talk shit about people, they're beating your ass, to a society of people that talk horrible about each other nonstop. And I didn't know how to be frenemies. I didn't know how to let people talk shit about me and still be nice to them the next day. And then I did stupid shit like date every guy that I could possibly fucking date because I needed validation that I was worthy, that I was... I mean, that's my own trauma. My parents didn't do that. Like, me being, you know, and then you, all of a sudden, like, you know, you're 18 years old and people are like, oh, well, she has slept around. Like, I mean, okay. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are things about my life that I guess I'm not even going to pretend to be perfect. And I don't give a fuck if you judge me for them because I promise you I'm not the only bitch out there who's done it. And I think that it's time to realize that if at one point in your life you didn't know your worth, it's okay. Because if anybody showed me my worth, it was Jacob. I'm just going to tell you. Daddy showed me my worth. I don't have to ask you if I'm good looking. You know why? Because that man tells me all the time how fucking sexy I am. I don't have to ask you if I'm worthy or if I'm none of those things. Like, let me just tell you, that man loves me and he gave me a place of security. I said the other day to somebody, I was like, I've never even really thought about cheating on Jacob. Like, he would never even think that. And the reason is because we're super secure in our relationship. And the reason that I would never go fuck around on Jacob is because I know the grass is not greener on the other side because I've been in a lot of fields.
Hell yeah.
That man loves me and he values me and he fucking takes care of me and he puts me and his daughter first and he's amazing. And anybody in the world that wants to talk about him or talk about his felony can get fucked, because at the end of the day, as you're in your fucking marriage and you're sitting over there on the computer being shitty to complete strangers, I'm married to a badass. That man loves me and treats me amazing and is good to our kid. And you know what? He's good to my staff. Like, there are times that, like, things like this winter right now, like, we didn't move as many horses as I would have liked for a little period of time. And, like, the Facebook monetization has been shadow banned and it's been tough. And Jacob took his cow money and took his money from his business to support my staff because he didn't want any of them to do without, or for me to have to lay anybody off, or for me to have to change my narrative in my life. I have to ask, how did Jacob get the name Daddy?
Yeah, I was fixing to say, don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
So after, like, so from the time that I got pregnant, I just started calling Jacob Daddy. And it's really funny because, like, I have been accused of, like, having daddy. I have the best dad in the world. My dad is a fantastic human.
Yeah, he's cool as shit.
My dad is fantastic. And so my dad is a very soft guy. He is just very, but I think Jacob just, and you know what? Jacob is always taking care of me and all the girls who work for me like he's a dad. Like, he has always just been that person. And so I just started calling him Daddy, and then it stuck, and everybody calls him Daddy. Elizabeth, Dara, everybody calls Jacob Daddy.
That's just Daddy.
That's just Daddy. And it's funny. I mean, I joke about it like sexually, and it'll be like, so daddy, what you doing tonight? You know, like, but I mean, Jacob is the ultimate dad. Like, he is, you have to remember that Jacob is not a kid. He's 38 years old, and he got in trouble in his 20s, and it was 12 years ago, and then he fought it for years. He fought, and then we just ran out of money, and we ran out of the ability to continue to fight for his, like, innocence, and he just took a plea. Like, it was better to do probation than to
take it to trial and let
well,
them fucking hang you.
I wanted to go to trial because I thought that there was no way in America that an entire group of individuals would find Jacob guilty of livestock theft whenever they heard the entire story and they knew what happened. But the truth is, to go to trial, we needed $100,000 to be able to pay the attorney. So I wanted to go to trial. I did. But I also knew that if by any chance that they didn't see things the way I saw it,
yeah,
that Jacob could have done 20 years. And it was easier to do, well, it was just easier at that point because of the money. There are a lot of people in this world that are probably innocent that are going to do time for things that, just because they didn't have the money to fight it. They didn't have the money or the knowledge. I mean, and that's not just with Jacob's felony. That's with lots of people. There are lots of people that are doing a lot more time than they should have. There are lots of good people that are incarcerated, in my opinion, for things that people get away with every day.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
No, you wouldn't believe it.
Fair.
It's not, because I think that I fell down that rabbit hole during that time of trying to help Jacob and stay beside him. There are people out there that do time for things that, I mean, make no sense. Yeah, for sure. I can't tell you how many people are in jail for fucking marijuana charges, and now it's legal. It's legal in the state that they're doing time.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, so at the end of the day, I judge nobody. Like, I don't give a fuck what you've been locked up for. There's very few things that I am like, that is just a little bit too much for me. Like, I don't like sexual predators, like true predators. But you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, there are people that have been accused of doing things that fucking suck because women lie. And so it's really hard. I mean, but I also think there are some real predators out there.
There are.
For sure. And that's what makes it hard, is you start getting in that territory of, like, that's a touchy subject, because there are fucking predators out there. Absolutely. And I think that's not okay too. So I don't know. I think that different people handle trauma different. And I think that at the end of the day, all of us have to remember that every single one of us watching this video, there's been 400 of you on this live, and there will be tons of replay, there will be thousands of replay watchers. There's not one of you watching this that don't have some trauma and don't have some damage and don't have things that you've done wrong. We all have parts of our life that we don't want to talk about, but I'm so sick to death of people taking parts of our life that we don't really want to talk about because that's not who we are today, and then just never letting that go. Like, you did this 12 years ago. This is who you are.
That's just shame.
I don't even know the person I was 12 years ago. Like, that person and I probably couldn't even have a fucking conversation today.
Like, I just found myself not even fucking 6 months ago. Literally.
This thing was a lesbian.
Yeah. 6 fucking months ago is whenever I figured out
I
who I was
literally-
and what I wanted.
Absolutely. And I laugh and I tell people, I scared her into being straight. She's been around me enough. She's like, man, I'm going to fuck around and end up with a crazy bitch like this, and it's going to fuck my world up, and I need to be straight because I cannot handle a Tara. True story. She likes dick now. And you know what? We make a joke out of things, and I've had people tell me, like, you shouldn't make a joke out of people's sexuality. You should listen.
Probably with people that ain't comfortable with it, but I don't give a flying fuck.
I think that what makes people be that way is they're afraid of being judged, and in our life, we just no longer care. So some of us heal,
fish to fry at this
but
point.
some of us heal through humor. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have to laugh at things sometimes.
In
like,
order not to cry.
Sometimes, yeah. Absolutely. And not only do I have to laugh to keep from crying, like, there are just times in my life, like, I'll just use this for instance, okay? Let's do this one. Like, I mentioned about being in high school and sleeping around, and, like, that's not something I'm proud of. So when I talk about that, it's not because I wear it as a badge where I'm like, I fucking it. Listen, it was trauma. And I think that there's a lot of young girls out there that also need to hear, like, you're not going to find your worth in 18-year-old boys. You're just not going to. They don't have a clue.
No, fuck no, they
But
don't.
you know what? And I love my mom and dad, and they're great, but, like, I didn't have a relationship with them, like, around that kind of stuff to where we had that conversation. But I promise you I'll have that conversation with Tinley. But I also taught my child, these are boobies, this is your vagina, this is your butt, and nobody touches those things except for mommy, and if anybody touches them, you tell me. You know? Because I want my child to know that, like, this is just part of your body. And I think that I was, you know, my mom just never, does that make sense? Like, my mom just never talked to me about sex and stuff. But I'm going to tell you, I will be the first person to tell my child, like, you are not going to find your worth in an 18-year-old boy.
No, yeah. See, my mom, she never had the chance to really talk to me because I was incarcerated for so long, you know? So when I got to prison, and there I had like a play mom in there, and she told me we peed at a different hole. Y'all should have seen me in the bathroom looking for this fucking hole. I was like,
How
bent
old were
over.
you?
I think I was 20. And I was like, no fucking way, we don't pee out that one hole. And they were like, no, baby.
That's where the dick goes.
There's a whole nother hole, and you probably can't see it because it's tiny. And I was like, fuck that. And so they like pull up this diagram, and they're showing me I was fucking 90-degree angle with my head in between my legs looking for this piss hole. I found it, by the way.
I found it. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is these conversations right here are conversations that nobody in the horse trader's diary is ever going to have these conversations, but they need to be had because there's a lot of you sitting there that are like shocked, but you probably have a daughter and you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, does my daughter know that she has a pee hole? Seriously.
No, seriously though.
Seriously.
Because they probably don't.
They probably don't. Only because I know that's a thing, because I too have like been like, we have 3 I mean, I think all of us at some point discovered we don't pee from that hole. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But I'm going to tell you that in sex education, that's not what we were taught. What we were taught was you don't have sex because that's how babies are made and there's STDs. When what they needed to be teaching us was about self-worth, and they needed to be teaching us about
You got 2.8 miles before you're going to take a ride.
Okay, perfect. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong. Just like they want to teach us math but don't teach us accounting. They want to teach us a million things, but they don't teach us real life skills. So anyway, I'm just going to tell y'all that at the end of the day, the conversations that my staff and I have are hilarious. They're real. Beyond that, there are a million of you that are sitting out there who genuinely feel ostracized and feel like, I mean, I think a lot of people have horses because we just love animals, because we are fed up with humans, because we have some kind of trauma from humans. That's why we love horses. So that's something we can all relate to. But what's not okay? Let me tell you what's not okay. It's not okay to be a cunt. It is not okay to be a shitty fucking human being.
No, like those, it's not even a lie. Like, yeah, the people in the fucking hate group, they piss me off. But in all actuality, I would love to just go give them a hug and just be like, it's
You know
okay,
what?
bro. Like,
There
it's
have
cool.
been moments.
It's fine.
There have been moments that they have pushed me to be a monster that I don't want to be, and that makes them the monster. At the end of the day, that makes them the monster, and the reason that I can tell you that is because of this.
Go 1.4 miles.
I and you and her and everyone else can tell you right now, all of us are capable of being monsters. We are all capable of doing things that we're human. We're human. It's human nature to not be perfect and to do things that...
For sure.
So at the end of the day, if you only see the bad in me and you constantly push me, and the reason I can tell you this is because there have been, I cannot tell you, I have wanted to physically fight them. I have wanted to physically fight these people. I have wanted to do mean things to them. I have wanted to call their work. I have gotten people fired from their jobs. Like, I have had enough of the bullying, and like I turned them in for fucking, one person lost their job because of me, because I called and was like, this bitch is fucking bullying me. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, that's not who I want to be. Like, I have had people, I had one lady that she bullied me to the point that it started to affect her relationship with her husband or fiance, and they ended up not being okay over it because he was like over the obsession to the point that he felt like it had gone too far. And so at the end of the day, like, I don't know, does that make sense? Like, yeah, it's not, I don't know, like, if you are so hell-bent on making me a monster that you push me to the point that I do mean things, who's really the monster? Like, who's really the bad guy here? Because we're all capable of it. So what if I continually pushed one of you to the point that you did bad things? Like, I just fucking constantly stayed on you until you reacted and just lost your shit.
Yeah. That's why I try not to really entertain them too much either, because it's almost like it puts us in the same predicament. Like, it's fucked up what they do, yes, but if we want to be better,
they're
people
miserable.
Too, yeah, but I mean, if we want to be,
miserable.
if we want to be better people, then I think the best thing to do is, honest to God, is we just gotta pray for them. Gotta pray for them and pray for them to find their fucking peace.
You know, but not
so
only that, like, I
can-
think the reason I can speak on it is because I have been so miserable. I have been that kind of person. And I
Yeah.
also want them to know, like, I have been so miserable that I too wanted to hate somebody, and I too wanted to jump on that
You're
bandwagon.
gonna go to the right.
And I'm going to tell you
Or get
that
past
you
the
can
70.
find your happiness. You can find better. 0.7 miles.
Yes, ma'am. Get in the right lane and just stay behind the semi because it's 0.5 miles now.
Like, I've been a miserable human being. I have wanted, like, I don't know, I have been pushed to the point that I've been fucking just angry and miserable and wanted to do, like, spitefully mean things. And I'm just grateful that I have surrounded myself by people now who don't, they just don't let me be that person. Like, we're just not doing that.
Keep right to merge onto US 69 North.
Not the exit, but just keep right.
It's right here.
No. It says, no, that's 9th. Keep going. That's an exit. No, I don't know why the fuck it's saying no. Look, that's that exit. It says to go this way.
Your GPS needs...
Yeah, he's kind of fucked off. I don't know what's going on. He said keep right, but it most definitely
not
wasn't
that
the
right.
exit. Yeah, he's like, keep the middle right.
But he didn't say that.
No.
Our GPS has got us in some... Like, at the end of the day, though, I think that as much as it gives them power, having the, like, being able to talk about it and address it as a whole, and know that, like, the things that they say, I can firmly stand in what they're saying is not the truth enough that, like, I don't have to hide it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's another thing. Like, sometimes when I read what they say, the reason I can address it head on is because I don't have to hide from any of it, because that's how far fucked off the things they're saying are. That's how far wrong the things they're saying are. That's how little truth there are to those things. And that, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that wouldn't want to address the things they say because they would be so afraid that somebody would find truth in it. I don't give a fuck. There's no truth in 99.9. And some of the things that they say that have a little bit of truth, unfortunately, they have manipulated it to the point that it no longer mimics the truth. It is now a completely different narrative. Like, whatever truth there was to that is gone.
Yeah, they went from, like, we said blue, so then they said navy blue, and somehow that got passed along to fucking yellow.
Yeah, because yellow is a mixture of blue.
Yeah,
And that-
exactly.
and that's the right. I mean, just like the Patrick family. I mean, I did those people a favor. Those horses I ended up selling
Cool.
as quickly as I could to get them the money as fast as I could. And now all of a sudden, like, the story is like a whole new narrative. And I'm like, no, this doesn't even resemble the truth. This is a fucking lie. This is not the truth. It is not acceptable. And these people have no right in this business because it's none of theirs.
They said it was red.
Exactly. Yeah, actually, it was purple because the yellow and the blue and the red and all of that, you could mix it and get a shade of purple.
You forgot the green, bitch.
Yeah, we'll just be green. But I will just tell you that I just discovered tonight, as I visited a lot of emotions that I forgot existed in my life because I had not visited those memories in a long time. I just remembered just how far I've really come.
Well, I'm really glad that, you know, today went the way it went.
Like,
because you got to see that, and that.
Oh, there was a lot of
makes my
disappointment
fucking-
too. Like,
No, yeah,
just so you guys know, don't ever meet your heroes, because I've always been told that. Don't meet your heroes because you will be disappointed.
Yeah.
I've heard that. It's kind of true.
Yeah. You gotta think there is always a downside to people. You know, like even to me, you know, like I have a downside. I really do. I'm
too.
not fucking perfect, you know? So when she says don't meet your heroes, like y'all take that for what it is, because you might just see your fucking hero's downside and it might just fuck the perspective up completely. Like the way I explained it earlier was you go to let's just say Colorado. You go to the woods in Colorado for a fucking vacation. It's beautiful.
you love it.
You love it. You appreciate it. If you live there, you don't appreciate it anymore because
right.
you see it day in, day out, and it's just kind of whatever. That's kind of how it is with meeting somebody that, you know, you've put up on a pedestal. Like,
Absolutely.
you have a certain perspective on them, and then you actually see them, and you see the wrong fucking thing, which, you know, is okay too, because nobody's perfect, but
Nobody's
it's
perfect.
just better to, I think it's better to have that, you know, that image and just kind of stick with that, you know. So meeting your hero, you know, just kind of leave the good perspective there, guys.
Absolutely.
leave
No,
the
really.
good shit there.
But I will say this too, like, this is what it's turned into, because with Facebook, we cannot, I mean, Facebook does not want you to advertise horses. So what I can do is I can show you guys the horses when they unload. We can show you all the behind the scenes. We can ride the horses on live video. And then we have a website that's killpinhorses.com. And I really need for you guys to rally behind
Yeah.
that and really kind of share our content, because I need lots of people to understand that, like, we're here, and while we do have these in-depth conversations, there's still a lot of horses that need our help, and we can't just flat say, like, hey, this horse is here and it needs our help. Like, we have to do everything in a around the bend kind of way. And there are people that are fucking mad about that. They are literally mad that I have found a way to monetize my Facebook and have, you know, these conversations with you guys and get stars and get commercial revenue and still be able to show the horses on Facebook and just say, like, these are the horses that come in. Killpinhorses.com, you know? So we need everybody. And you know what? If you ever do things and you see somebody talking negatively, this is what you do. You block them, delete your post, and then repost it. I've heard somebody say, well, I blocked him and took my post down. Don't. Just block them and put your post back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you share something of mine and somebody says something negative, fuck that person, block them. There's always going to be somebody that finds something negative. Like, just don't give a fuck. You can't give a fuck.
Exit out of your fucking life completely.
Exit. That's right. You cannot give a shit that people are not going to agree with you on everything. And if they don't like me, oh fucking well. Listen, honestly, you deserve to believe in what you believe in.
Right.
And her opinion and your opinion are both valid. And if y'all don't agree, don't allow somebody's negativity to overshadow your positive. And that's what I see happening all the time on social media, is somebody will be positive and wanting to help and wanting to share and wanting to rally, and somebody will be like, that's fucking stupid and it's a scam and blah 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 blah, and the next thing you know, this person has lost all their desire to help because they just don't want the conferencing.
They gotta remember too, guys, that people don't talk shit unless you're doing something right.
Right? People do not talk shit, and people do not tear down what you're doing if they are not jealous. And truthfully, there's a lot of people that want to be a part of our tribe and they're just not welcome. They're not welcome.
So if people ain't talking shit, you ain't doing something right.
Absolutely. What I will say is we have lots of posts of the photos of, and it's just photos of like a horse, and it'll have like a link to their YouTube video. Just share those.
Yeah.
Share those as much as you can. Share them out there. Share them in groups. Share them with your friends. Share them on your Facebook. Share. So, but I am tootling along here on the highway. We're going to stay the night, and in the morning, get up and head from my parents back to the farm. We're picking up Tinley. So it's been my child was like, Mommy, I miss you. I need my mommy. Can you get me? And I was like, we are on the way. Earlier today, we talked to her and she was like, I'm living my best life and I am not ready to come home yet.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. But by tonight, you know what? She's ready to come home. So here I go to get her. Here I go. I have a migraine coming on. It started behind my right eye and it's like...
Did you take that Excedrin?
Mm-hmm.
How much did you take? Just one?
2.
Good God, bro. Some strong things going on there.
I know. I just get tension. Honestly, it's just, there was a large amount of disappointment in my life and it manifested in a migraine. But that's okay. But I will tell you that, but I will tell you guys that I absolutely love our tribe. I love what I do for a living. I need all the support that we can get. While the Facebook monetization is great and we are going to ride this to the very last.
Thug it out, baby.
We are going to thug it out. We are going to ride the Facebook monetization till the last breath of air, because I feel like anytime we can get Facebook money, it is like a win. We still have to do several things, which include, but are not limited to, share the horses. Share, we're on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, we need more views on YouTube. We can monetize over there. Listen, not only that, but we TikTok. Go to our TikTok. The more that we're on platforms and the more that we have views and following, the more we get into algorithms and the more we can grow. And it is important for us to grow, and we deserve to grow, and we deserve to have the people that support us and love us stand behind us, and the people that are negative, they don't deserve to have a voice. Like, just remember, when it comes down to it and you post something and somebody goes blah blah blah, it is your opinion versus their opinion, and I can promise you your opinion is just as valid as theirs. Don't allow somebody else to tell you how to feel in that moment. Like, because I had somebody say, like, I shared one of your videos and this lady got on there, and just tell her, well, I love it, and if you don't, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Don't watch. If you don't like it, don't watch. And if you really don't know that person and they don't, like, it's not like somebody that you know, just block them. Yeah. Block them and move on. Fuck
they're just
them.
irrelevant.
They're
like,
irrelevant.
If they're not putting you any further or in any direction in life, if they're not any type of stone path, don't pay them no fucking mind.
Don't pay them no mind. Listen, one of the very first income streams that I ever had outside of any kind of the horse world was through a multi-level marketing company. I went back to Thrive because I love the products, but it was my first taste of like having an income. And I'm telling you right now that I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, absolutely believe that a lot of what I learned about like handling money and rejection and marketing and just doing great things was through multi-level marketing and my team leaders, people that led large teams of multi-level marketing people. I learned how to show up every day. I learned how to be told no and still show up. I learned valuable assets. Entrepreneurs know about Facebook algorithms. They know about Facebook groups. They know about TikTok. They are always into self-development and marketing and putting stuff out there. And it is one of the greatest things that I ever achieved in my life was being a six-figure income earner. I earned $190,000 through a multi-level marketing company. It was amazing. I had no money when I did that. But outside of the money, just the things that I learned, and I don't actively lead a team right now and pursue that, but I can tell you, I learned so much from a multi-level marketing company. It is insane. And people will say, like, it's scammy, it's this, it's that. Oh, well. But I can tell you that I loved what I learned. I loved the, how would you say, like, the environment. Does that make any sense at all? Like, I love surrounding myself by motivated people who hustle and like wake up trying to better themselves and learn more about social media. Like, I loved that. It was something I've never been exposed to. It was something that was like eye-opening to me, and it was amazing. And you'll have 100 people tell you that multi-level marketings are a scam, and I'm sitting here telling you that being part of a multi-level marketing company changed me and who I am for the better in so many ways, and not only opened my eyes to like marketing, but I also just became a better person because of it. Like, so you're never all going to agree on something. And if you hate multi-level marketing companies, don't worry. Like, I'm not trying to sell you something. But at the end of the day, I can tell you that the culture that those people have created can be really great if you allow yourself to learn what they're trying to teach you. And they taught me a lot.
I'm so glad it's dark back here because my fucking right tit was just hanging out and I didn't even know. I gotta
We're
stop.
just showing everybody a boob.
God. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I have to move the fucking
Yeah.
itch.
I mean, so I mean, at the end of the day, like, she said, was watching some of your first videos on YouTube and you sounded like a baby. I mean,
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. I mean, she said I didn't mean it in every way. I meant it as young and loved what she was doing for the horses. Oh, absolutely. Like, it has evolved. Like, I am not the same person that I was 9 years ago when I started this. I am a much harder person, and I've seen some shit. When I started this 9 years ago, I had not seen the amount of suffering that I have seen today, especially at the hands of people who claim they love horses. I have seen rescues do things that are the most unscrupulous, awful things. I mean, just Google Scarlett's Legacy. Just Google that. And when you Google it and you see, I lived through that. They had purchased horses from us. That is a rescue that purchased horses from us, and then when they rehomed them, told people that they had come from me in that condition, and people believed them because they were a rescue. But luckily, because I wasn't silent and I fought back. I fought back and said, like, fuck no. I didn't do that to those horses, and they didn't leave us in that condition. Even if nobody believed me, I fought back. And it led the police to start doing an investigation on the rescue that led them to shut the rescue down, because there were dozens of dead horses and like almost 100 starved horses on the property.
Some fucking rescue.
Yeah. I have seen things that I can never unsee. I'm not the same person I was 9 years ago. And I unfortunately can't go back. There are times that I wish that I could go back to a much more innocent version of myself who has not weathered the last 9 years of what I've seen in the horse industry.
I never realized how comfortable your back seat can get.
Oh, yeah. For
The
sure.
whole bed back here.
Ooh, my migraine just hit and I have to throw up. Woo!
Drive?
Yeah, you're going to have to. All right, you guys, I am going to lay my seat back. This thing is, you're talking about how comfortable you are, and I'm like, by the way, I'm fixing to puke everywhere. So
Yeah,
you
she's
got
like,
to-
switch me spots.
Well, it just sucks because this has been coming, and it just,
Yeah, pull over somewhere. I got you.
yeah. You can tell when my migraines, like my neck starts to, I mean, I just get fucking, like, I can't get away from the pain. That's all right. And smells, like when I have a migraine, smells, I can smell everything. Like I can smell, like I smell coffee, I smell, I mean, you just wouldn't believe the smells. Like I smell everything in this car. It's just bizarre. But all right, you guys, I love y'all. Absolutely, you can share your book. That is not a problem. Absolutely. You can share your book. Elizabeth shares her vote for her on Inked Magazine. Make sure you guys go vote for her. You can buy votes, or you can just vote once a day for free. Just set an alarm clock so that every day you remember to vote. And I have not been getting a lot of migraines lately, so I have had very, very few migraines since I had COVID. But today has just been a lot. Like, I just have a migraine from a multitude of things. Like, it's just been...
You still ain't pulled over, though.
I know. Because I'm trying to, like, find relief. Like, as I stretched my neck, I got a little relief.
Mr. Autopilot, pull this bitch over.
It's on. Oh, yeah, it just said autopilot cruise control canceled. All right, you guys. I am going to pull over and lay the seat back and let this chauffeur me. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We love you. Thank you for sending stars.
Thanks,
Please
guys.
join the Wild Tribe After Hours if you haven't. The Wild Tribe After Hours is $20 a month, and that money goes to good use.
Yeah,
Please
hell
join.
yeah. Go
Please
subscribe.
join the Wild Tribe After Hours if you haven't. We are asking nicely. That is one of the things that helps us more than anything. So please subscribe. And don't forget to find it's the Horse Trader's Diary on TikTok and on YouTube. So the Horse Trader's Diary. And I love you guys. And I will see y'all later. Bye.